Hi Libra, here is a general look at your solar chart for June 2013. Before I look at the faster moving inner planets, I want to say a few words about because three of the slower moving outer planets. The inner planets are like actors and actresses and characters in a play. They come in and out, they make their entrances and exits, and they unless they're in a long transit, they shift quite quickly. But the slower moving outer planets rule long cycles in our lives, and in fact they rule whole generations as well. But you as a cardinal sign are getting quite a lot of action with two of the outer planets, Uranus and Pluto. It was three up until last year, with Saturn as well in the mix. At least you don't have Saturn in that challenging aspect anymore, but you still have Uranus and Pluto, who are sort of on either side of your sign in a kind of a pincher movement, so you can feel a bit squeezed sometimes by these two. Uranus is in your opposite sign, Aries, and that means that in close relationship, people seem to blow hot and cold. Now you see them, now you don't. You don't quite know what's going on with them. They may suddenly do something that really takes you by surprise, and it's a kind of a destabilizing energy because of the angle of the aspect. It tends to show the more unpredictable side of Uranus. And then Pluto is at the root of your chart. Both of them have been there for several years, and well, actually Uranus has been there since 2010, but they will be there for several years to come. Pluto for longer than Uranus, and Pluto at the root of your chart is meaning that there can be radical change because of or through a place on the map, a property, family members, where you call home maybe, or where you're anchored to. And so there can be quite some intense emotional encounters, maybe with family members or those in a neighborhood at times, depending on what degree that planet is currently transiting in relation to your natal chart. But the two of them together are kind of in this sort of pincer movement. Now we've got Saturn that's moved out of your sign now and gone into Scorpio, and that in itself is no longer in a very, very powerful angle to your sign. But I just wanted to mention it because Saturn is now in an area which is about you finding your true worth. Yes, it is about money, it's about property, it's about material resources. That's on a more, dare I say, superficial level, but on an underlying level, this is about you and your sense of entitlement for yourself, but also you deciding what is of most worth to you in your life. And that can be money, or it can be property, or it can be a relationship or a job, or it can be you developing a talent, or it can be a mixture of all of them. But that's the challenge that Saturn is now throwing down in your life. And because it is the planet Saturn in that area there, it will be sometimes you having to hold firm and discover what those things are, maybe under fire, almost under adverse conditions, by which I mean if you are being stopped from finding your true value, either in yourself or with somebody else or something else, by having too easy a life. And first of all, write to me and tell me how you do that. but by having maybe an imbalance in your material resources, then you're likely to lose some, and in order that you can reach for and find your sense of entitlement, self-esteem, worthiness, or those things in your life that you want to grab a hold of and say, okay, these things are of great value to me, these people, these places, these occupations, whatever they are, these objects are of great value to me, you see. or if you are on the other way around, which is that, poverty stricken and really struggling, then and these are two extremes, of course, but then that's likely again to stand in the way of your finding this sense of value, this sense of worth, either within yourself or external to yourself. So either polarity can shift with Saturn there, because Saturn traditionally, a lot of astrology says, oh, Saturn in this house of your chart means that you're going to have a really, really tough time related to money and property and possessions. And that's what I found is that can be true, yes, but only if money, property and possessions are in some way getting in the way of your conscious awareness of what you really hold to be truly of worth and value to you, you see. And yes, something might be taken away from you by fate in some way, so that you realize that the absence of it has made you feel like, you want to get it back, and you never want to let that thing go again. So she's a great teacher, Saturn, wherever she goes, but her methods can be very kind of, tough love, really. So the thing about Saturn there as well is, if you are struggling in this area here, is actually saying to you and nudging you into realizing that you've got a talent, you've got a gift that you need to develop in order that you don't struggle anymore. It's as simple as that. So if you're scratching your head and thinking, oh, what's this meaning for me? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe you do not give yourself enough credit. Maybe you give others too much credit. This is a typical Libra failing, always giving the others too much credit and not, giving yourself giving yourself this feeling of yes, okay, I am worth something, and I am valuable in other people's lives. Right. So and with the Uranus Neptune, try to realize that with those two, who are transpersonal planetary energies, they can create huge amounts of change in your life, coming through the partnership area or the close relationship area, and also the family area, and also any property you're connected to or place on the map. But you really create a sea change and shift in your emotions, because every now and again you will have this intense, encounter. And what you have to realize is that it's not so much about what's going on out there, but it's really all about what's going on within you and how you project, because you can be operating under some sort of misapprehension or some sort of obsessive behavior which you are unaware of, because it's so way deeply buried within you or connected with your bloodline, and particularly coming down the father's bloodline, I have to say. And that behavior gets projected out onto somebody else, and then it's only later when the transit's over that you look back and you think, now why did I take that so much to heart? Why was it such a big deal for me? Why was I so sensitive about that? Because that's down the line is when you've grown, you've evolved out of whatever it was you were in there, because both of those planets are there to help you to grow up. Because we're never grown up. We're always on the way there. So that's just a word about those planetary energies there, and how you're not alone. All of the cardinal signs are getting those planetary transits very, very strongly at the moment, and of course the mutable signs, which I'm one, had the whole deal before you guys did. So looking back on it now, realizing that you're just kind of able to expand into a world which is making so much more sense, having left that stage behind, and a world which is more fulfilling, and a world which seems to have the rhyme and reason in it again. Right. So now about June. Well, until the 21st, the sun is in a very outgoing, expansive area. It can really give you a boost. It raises the spirits. So yes, let's come up for some air after going so deep down into all that stuff. It's a great time to travel. It's a great time to get out and about more. Get out of the routine box. And in fact, some of you may have itchy feet. The solar vibrations are increasing opportunities for you to escape the daily grind, to get into new areas of interest, to take a trip or whatever. And during this period, you will tend to be full of ideas. You can be bouncing ideas off others. You kind of go into theory a lot more. And it's a good moment to test the waters on something. It's a good moment to try something out so that you can understand it better, ask questions, and get the answers. And of course, you need to ask the right questions as well. So maybe you take a while to frame the right question. And also, this is a good time to put the word out on a larger stage in some way, either through writing or whatever other way, beat the drum on something. Great time to launch into something new, great time to launch a project. So however it is for you, you're likely to be able to access a place outwardly or inwardly where you can kind of zoom out and see the bigger picture. And then from the 21st, you'll probably be taking your targets or overall direction more seriously. This is a more kind of grown-up area where you're thinking about image and you're being responsible about things. You're more conscious of rules and regulations and paperwork and red tape and bureaucracy. Not necessarily all of them all at once, but I'm just sort of giving examples. And you just are aware of the need to, keep marching forwards, be consistent, and show authority, show confidence as you go forwards, even if you're not feeling it, and more aware of reputation and how something's being packaged, how something's being projected. Now, Mercury is in this area here, same area, and that means discussions and correspondence and paperwork and maybe form filling and perhaps over the net or whatever is revolving around your short-term plans, your long-term considerations, and where you're going from here. You see, so it's all about getting somewhere. So career, life direction, a new enterprise, all those can be highlighted, and anybody who can facilitate any of that. You should be keeping your ear to the ground as well, because you need to be having an ear cocked to see how things are unfolding across the world stage maybe, and how that might be affecting you. The sort of the global economy, etc. And you should be putting mental effort into expressing yourself in the best way you know how to get the result you desire. And for some reason, well, I know what the reason is, vehicles and transport and travel, communications equipment can be more on your mind at this time as well. And Mercury is going to stay there for a very long time. It's going to be there until August the 9th. Now, Venus, your ruling planet, is also at the top of your solar chart from the 3rd to the 28th, which is good news, because it means that it puts you in a good light in all that area there to do with image and reputation and so on, and anything you're packaging. So if you want, to get some endorsement or some sort of funding or support from somebody in a position to help you, or in a place of power, some sort of certification or whatever it is, some kind of rubber stampings, then with Venus there, that's a good time between the 2nd and the 28th, and somebody could be invaluable to your success. You could just click with somebody in a position to help you up the ladder of success, and it can mean a more positive interaction with bosses, parents, guides, etc. at this time, and you yourself could be the one who takes a firm but friendly stand and helps somebody else up the ladder, gives somebody else a sort of a leg up. Mars is in the same area as the Sun, meaning that you will be gathering information and learning through doing, through travel, through new areas of interest, language maybe, but also grasping things that you didn't have a clue about before, and taking a trip, connecting with foreign lands, connecting with a different kind of culture or a different kind of field of interest, enrolling in something that you want to learn, and definitely getting out of the routine box. Just having a good book actually would cover that one as well. Time to reach out into an unfamiliar area so that you can sort of rinse your mental palate, as it were, and you yourself can be seen as the guide, the interpreter, the teacher as well. Now, Jupiter begins a new cycle on June the 26th for about a year. Jupiter will be in your area of career and overall life direction. This is really good news for you because even though you will need effort and work from you, it means more doors are likely to be swinging open in this work area or in the area of, okay, here's a new path for you to go in your life. And with so much change energy in your chart, to do with Uranus and Pluto, then having Jupiter up there is probably a really good thing. And it's more likely that you could be more appreciated now by those in a position to help you, those powerful people or authority figures to help you professionally, and you should start to feel more established in your field or with your direction in life. And you Librans born between the 23rd and the 25th of September, or from the 16th to the 23rd of October, or from 23 degrees rising or up to 2 degrees rising, going to feel this energy the most this month. And Saturn as well, I just mentioned that. You do need to manage the piggy bank. You do need to keep a weather eye on property, money, incomings, outgoings, the material, physical side of life. However, you Librans born 27th of September to the end of September, or with 4 to 7 degrees rising, going to feel the energy of Saturn the most. And Neptune, I should mention, is in your house of health and work for many a long year, which means that you should be aiming now more not to work for your own personal benefit or for any kind of materialistic sort of success or ego reasons, which is why most of us do work. But I have to say, with Neptune here, you need to think along the lines of working in order to be of service to others. And if you are coming from that place, then Neptune in that area of your solar chart is going to help you a great deal. And it will be deepening your spiritual understanding this month, and also helping you to feel more fulfilled in that sort of helping vein, as long as you can you can put food on the table and a roof over your head, sort of thing. But Saturn in trine with Neptune this month, and of course in May as well, will help with that. Well, that's it for June. If you know your rising sign or your moon sign, then listen to those. And also, if you want to know what the more about what the outer planets are doing and which part of your sign they may be affecting, then go to my website. It'll be written up there. And I wish you well, and I'll see you the next time.